United to make shock move for 24-goal Premier League striker. Let's get straight into the news. How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Full Ball Show, your home to all the latest football news and transfer updates. We've seen quite an interesting report coming from Steve K, actually known personally, in my opinion, one of the best experts when it comes to transfer news. He's very much ahead of the curve on a lot of the deals. This is an interesting one from him, though. I mainly know him for his Arsenal news, but this is a Manchester United story. We know that Manchester United are looking for a new striker, in which they desperately need to. Rasmus Højlund there's a player in there somewhere, but unfortunately it just hasn't worked out at Manchester United. And Joshua Zirkzee just joined the club last season, another one that just doesn't seem to be working out at Manchester United. So they need to improve their stocks up front. And according to the report from K, they are looking at Nicolas Jackson from Chelsea. Now, in my opinion, I think that would be a pretty decent move for Manchester United. He's obviously somewhat of a Premier League proven striker. He's not the most clinical striker in the world. He does miss a lot of opportunities, but he also does create a lot of opportunities. You have to give it to him. He's almost like he's that striker that does everything right except score the goals, which is what a striker should be doing. But he does everything right except score the goals. When he links up with the way he links up with Cole Palmer is exceptional. He's very good at dribbling. He's got a very good passing range. He's got a very good IQ of space and reading the game. It must be his temperament, or it must just be nerves, or whatever it might be. But when he gets in front of goal, he does miss a lot of opportunities. Saying that, though, he still scored 14 goals in the Premier League last season. Man United need goals, and for a return for 14 goals on a return for a team that finished in 15 is not bad at all. They've been linked with the likes of Victor Gyökeres. I believe they're going to be priced out of that deal. They were close to signing Liam Delap. He ended up choosing Chelsea. Jean-Philippe Mateta is still an option for them. Victor Osimhen, apparently the Man United board went down to Napoli to have some negotiations with them over Osimhen, because obviously Napoli want Alejandro Garnacho, who's going to be leaving United this summer. But in my opinion, I think Nicolas Jackson would be a very good option for United. It's between him and Mateta, in my opinion, for who they sign out. Jason Wilcox obviously wanted badly for the club to bring in the lap. Majority of the United fans want them to sign Gyökeres, but I think Nicolas Jackson, considering the league position, if they were a top 6 club, I would say stay away from Nicolas Jackson. Don't go for him. But just considering the position they're in, it's a risk worth taking. It also obviously depends on how much he's going to cost. But if they can strike a deal for around 40 to 50 million pounds for Jackson, it'd be a very good deal. He's still quite young. I believe he's around 23, 24. So he still has a lot of room to improve. He's obviously already played 2 seasons in the Premier League, so there will be no adjusting time needed for Jackson. They've already signed Matheus Cunha. So if you can add, maybe you have a front three of something like Bruno Fernandes, Matheus Cunha, and Nicolas Jackson, it could definitely work. Cunha and Jackson could strike up a similar partnership to what he has with Cole Palmer. Bruno Fernandes, we all know if it wasn't for him, United probably would have been relegated last season. They arguably going to need another 10, just in my, oh, not actually 10 or an 8, you never know, because they still have Mason Mount, they've got Ahmad, but Mount, I don't know, Mount for me is not a good player. Ahmad is a good player. He's a little bit injury prone at times. It's just interesting to see where he's going to play. Is he going to play as a right wing back? Is he going to play in that 10 position? Bruno obviously can also slot in a little bit deeper. Even though I don't think that's his best position, he can definitely play as an 8 or like as a double pivot with Ugarte or Casemiro. I think it's more important for them to sign another, like a Casemiro replacement, someone that can come in that position. And Adam Wharton, that's who I would have, if I was Man United, I would have put all my money into signing Adam Wharton. They obviously don't have a lot of money, so that might also be why they're looking at people like Nicolas Jackson, Mateta, players that likely could cost a little bit less than the elite striker options on the market. Gyökeres is going to cost around 60 to 70 mil. Benjamin Sesko is going to cost around 60 to 70 mil. So Man United need to be wary of the amount of money they have. Once they sell Garnacho, they will have a little bit extra in the kitty, obviously, to spend. But like I said, in my opinion, I think Nicolas Jackson would be quite a good deal for United. I believe he's got around just over 20 goal contributions for the season. And it's a player that he's strong, he's fast, As I mentioned, he's got good IQ, like spatial IQ. He does everything. Dribbling he does well. His linker plays well. It's just the main thing a striker actually needs to do is his worst trait, and that's finishing. But as I mentioned before, I think for a team like in the situation Man United are in at the moment, it could end up turning out to be a very good deal. Whether or not they go for it, we know Man United, you never know what they do in the transfer market. They could be linked with it. They usually, same with Arsenal, they're usually linked with a boatload of names, and then they end up signing two or three, or not even the players that they've been linked with initially. They end up getting new names. You saw that last season with the Ugarte and the Ligt. They weren't really linked with them and ended up getting them. Another area of concern for Man United is, would this be a manager signing or a board signing? Amarin's under a lot of pressure. If I was a United fan, I wouldn't want a manager signing to say, because if Amarin gets to off to a poor start in the next campaign, as was likely that he's got 6 months to resurrect Man United. If they're in a similar position after 6 months going into the new season, he's going to be gone. So they're going to bring in a new manager. And you don't want to be what we've seen with Man United over the last decade, especially be in a situation where they buy players for a manager and then the manager ends up getting sacked and the next manager is stuck with these players. We've seen the cycle get repeated too much at United. Even last season after Ten Hag was kept on after they won the FA Cup final. They should have let Ten Hag go, because they ended up spending about 250 to 300 million pounds on new players for him just to be sacked 4 or 5 months later, and then now they bring in Emery, who plays a completely different system to Ten Hag with all of Ten Hag's players, and we even still see players there from the Fergie era. I mean, Luke Shaw's still in the side, Maguire's still in the side, so there's a lot of changes that need to be made at United. The biggest ones, they're going to have to make a lot of outgoings. Unfortunately for them, they're going to either have to sell players on the cheap because they've got huge wages first of all, or I'm not actually 100% sure what they're going to do, because they're going to be stuck with a lot of these players once again. It's going to be a slow rebuild for Man United, and someone like Nicolas Jackson could just be a player that could help get them from 15th all the way up to 9th, and then in 2-3 seasons you have to look again and sign in a new player. It's not going to be a 1 year hit and Man United are back to where they were. It's probably going to be a 5 year project now. But every time Man United have got a new manager, it's been like pretty much a 3 year project. But they've regressed so much and they've got so much dead weight that, in my opinion, it's probably going to be around a 5 year project. But United fans, let me know, what are your thoughts. Would you be excited for the signing of Nicolas Jackson? I'm sure a lot of you won't be. It's a risky signing, as I mentioned, but there's something to him. I think he does everything else he does extremely well. It's just his finishing. If he manages to fix that, if he manages to up his finishing game and actually put away a few more of those chances that gets created for him, I think there's actually a good player in him that's going to score a lot of goals. He's going to score a couple of goals in the Premier League and definitely help you guys climb up the Premier League table. Anyway, though, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to smash that like button, follow the Full Ball Show for all your latest football news and transfer updates, and leave your comments in the comment section down below. Cheers, guys.